800 now, at 800 guineas, I'm bidding at 800.
I'm at an auction where yet another dairy farmer is selling his herd and getting out of the business. Every single day now for the past year, 2 dairy farms have milked their cows for the last time. So what's the future for the British dairy industry? After a lifetime of producing milk, Ken is turning his back on the industry. He says the price he gets for his milk isn't enough to make a living. Many farmers are part of an agricultural dynasty, taking up the reins from their parents and passing on the farm to their children. But Ken's son Dan doesn't see a future in dairy.
My dad he's built it up over the past, and then my grandfather before that, and we've always been dairying. It's a bit weird really seeing them being sold. To carry on with our dairy now, we need to invest a lot of money. Our parlour's 20 years old, needs updating. Our cubicles, they've been in for a while, they need updating. We've already done some, and for the money, the return for that investment is, it's not, feasible for me, for my future.
Usually they are the ones supplying places like Arla. But last night, farmers from around the north were doing quite the reverse.
Shall I turn it round and come home?
Blockading one of the biggest dairies in the UK and stopping anything going in or coming out. They were protesting at cuts in the price they get paid. Cuts, they say, that have actually left them paying to produce milk.
We had a 2p cut in June, and they're planning another 8% from the 1st of August. We cannot operate on a loss, we just can't do it.
In response, Arla Foods said that reducing the milk price is always the last resort. We are working very hard to secure better returns for our supplying farmers. But that would require retailers either to reduce their profits or raise their prices and make the public pay.
So how much are you producing a litre of milk for?
We're producing it for just shy of 29p at the minute, which is pretty low.
And how much are you getting for it?
We've been getting in the spring about just over 30p. Last month we had about 26.5p we were scheduled for. So.
26.5? That's a definite loss, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we were scheduled to get, yeah.
And overall, has that price been low rather than high?
Yeah, overall, yeah, it's been low for pretty much the past 15 years. It's been too low.
As milk prices fluctuate, the cost of feed, fuel and fertiliser all go up. The Williams clearly feel they're getting a raw deal.
We cannot run a business at a loss. Any businessman will agree with that. You can't sustain at these levels. David and Robert together work very hard, 70-hour weeks, for below the minimum wage.
I could hear businessmen saying to you, well, tough, welcome to the 21st century. All business people are on tight margins.
But businesses aren't running at a loss like British dairy agriculture is running at a loss.
So who is to blame?
For me, it's the retailers, because they fight between themselves to get as many customers as they can in to the shops, so they'll cut the price of milk. Now, the retailers won't actually take that cut, they'll pass it down to the processors, then the processors will pass it on to us. That's what's happening at the minute. So,
if they want to sell it as a loss leader, let it be their loss and not ours.
I want to find out what's going wrong. Are dairy farmers simply innocent victims of the market, or are they themselves part of the problem? It's the dairies or milk processors who buy the raw milk from the farmers, and in recent months much of the farmers' anger has been directed at them.
But in blockading the dairy processors, are they targeting the right people? Time to put on the glamorous gear, go in and find out.
Rises in energy bills have taken huge chunks out of the processors' margins, but then so have the retailers.
What's happened in the last 18 months, we've seen milk heavily discounted. 18 months ago we would have seen a 4-pinter in Sainsbury's, Tesco, Marks & Spencer, £1.54. They've had to compete with the middle ground, Lidl's, Aldi's and Netto's, and they've had to drop their price down to £1.20 for a 4-pinter. And conversely, when what happened, Lidl and Netto dropped theirs down to £1, so it's a decreasing spiral.
So your magic wand, it seems to me, would be the public paying, I don't know, 10p more a litre or something.
There's got to be some responsibility. We can't continue selling milk at this price level.
Many processors feel they're unfairly getting the blame for prices which are set by the shops. So is Sainsbury's part of the problem or the solution?
Unlike some supermarkets, they've not been involved in this year's price cuts. In fact, they claim they're going the extra yard to give farmers a fair deal.
Judith Batchelor looks after the supermarket's own brand products.
So what is that deal you're offering your dairy farmers?
Well, what we offer our 324 farmers is a cost of production model plus a profit margin, and that cost of production model is basically based on their farm data that's collected. The model, as well as the profit margin, then has two other attributes. The first is a bonus that they can earn on top of that for good animal welfare and environmental impacts. And secondly, we review the big input costs, which are animal feed, fuel and fertiliser, on a 3-monthly basis, and then that's reflected in a cost of price review.
Is the price of milk really so important to customers that you have to keep it low?
Customers are very aware, particularly in the current climate, of the cost of the products they put in their basket. So they talk about a thing called till shock, which is when they get to the till, their basket costs more than they would expect it to. And when that happens, they literally interrogate the bill and to understand where that cost is coming from. And we have to be very competitive on the items that are in everybody's baskets day in, day out.
Your milk here is basically 52p a litre. You've got water over there that's on sale for considerably more than that. And this is still a dirt cheap product.
We could pay them more, and everybody would love to be paid more, but the key thing is everybody in the chain making money, because if they are profitable, then those businesses are sustainable. One of the things that I think is very interesting, and that is an industry figure, these aren't our figures, is that the cost of production can vary between the least efficient and most efficient by 15 pence per litre. Therefore, some farmers will be making quite healthy profits, others won't be. So it's not just about the price you pay, it's about the cost of production.
However efficient dairy farmers are, there's no doubt a decent price rise could boost the industry's fortunes. Yet, while supermarkets are competing for customers, high milk prices are a hard sell. But we need to point the finger with care. For a start, less than half of all our milk is sold as pints. Much of the rest goes straight into other food.